Getting hard away, Southern T. Back with another EP. And y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy. Smash that like button for your boy. Let me say what's up to the people in the building. Shout out my guy Zone Verse TWT. What's good, Zone? Appreciate you sliding through. My guy D Free was good. TWT. Appreciate you sliding through. And Anthony Monzano was good. Appreciate you sliding through this joint. Ain't glad y'all can make it. Glad y'all can make it. If y'all could, do your boy a favor. Smash that like button for your boy on the way in. I know I normally don't go on this late. You know what I mean? But it's one of those nights. You know what I mean? I'm feeling a good boxing conversation. So, we about to have us, a good boxing conversation with not a lot necessarily going on, with boxing, this week or what's up or whatnot. I feel like this, is the perfect time, for me, for us as a boxing collective, you know what I mean, for us to talk about the things, that's bothering us most, you know what I mean, with boxing. Well, not necessarily bothering us most, the things that's most meaningful for us within boxing. So shit, tonight, I really just wanted to come here and I wanted to preach on, about all the about all the good shit, basically that's been going on, with boxing. The year 2022, it's been one hell of a year, you know what I mean, on the whole. I can't really, complain about too much, given with all the undisputeds. We're given with the couple undisputeds, we had out of the unifications this year, you know what I mean, that we had. It's almost like this year boxing has kind of, righted the ship, of the past years type deal. The only thing left, for us to do, only thing left for us to do this year, for us to get delivered this year, is Earl Spence, you know what I mean, versus Bud Crawford. What's good, Jay Gibson? Appreciate you sliding through this joint. TWT in the building. Appreciate you sliding through this joint, Jay Gibson. Glad y'all can make it. Glad y'all can make it. Y'all do your boy a favor. Smash that like button for your boy on the way in. And I chose this Manny Pacquiao and your Danish Ugas, photo. I chose this photo, you know what I mean, for a reason, because this is kind of, the picture. This is kind of the whole year of 2022 loaded up into one picture. You know what I mean? Manny Pacquiao, was supposed to fight Errol Spence. Errol Spence ended up, messing up his eye, had to pull out of the fight. Your Danish Ugas stepped in, and that was the first, that was one of the first ways this year that boxing has started to fix itself. Because if a lot of people remember, your Danish Ugas and Manny Pacquiao, were going through a bit of a controversy, about their WBA belt, the super and the regular belt. Was Manny Pacquiao the real champion? Manny Pacquiao had his belt stripped away due to inactivity, and it was given to your Danish Ugas. A lot of people felt Ugas, wasn't the real champ, didn't deserve the Earl Spence fight. So by default, you know what I mean, Manny Pacquiao and your Danish Ugas ended up, having to ballot it out for the WBA belt, for the rightful owner of that WBA belt. You know what I mean? So that's just one of the ways that boxing simply worked itself out this year. You know what I mean? Shout out my guy, MP, what the fuck? Appreciate you sliding through this junk, MP. Glad you could make it. TWT in the building. Appreciate you sliding through this junk, MP, what the fuck? You know what I mean? We in this thing, just having us a good old boxing conversation. I'm getting ready to roll up myself a blunt in a minute. You know what I mean? And I just want to kick this. Good shit. And I want to rap about something that I had saw earlier. I'm really just here to talk about shit, that I seen, shit that's bothering me. Give y'all a little rundown of what's on my mind and everything. Bernard Hopkins. I want to start with Bernard Hopkins. Bernard Hopkins has I've seen Bernard Hopkins, in the making headlines. I've seen Bernard Hopkins making headlines lately for a lot of the wrong reasons. Actually, I've seen Bernard Hopkins making headlines for a lot of the reason that Bernard Hopkins always making headlines for, these days, which is, usually saying something extremely outrageous and not having, you know, and not having, to stand on or justify what the hell he said. Lately, in the Bernard Hopkins sweepstakes, Bernard Hopkins came out and he said something, that I want to talk about just for a second. Bernard Hopkins came out and he said that Devin Haney is less popular than Ryan Garcia, and that if the two were to fight, that Devin Haney would be the B side to Ryan Garcia. You know what I mean? At this point, I'm really starting to feel like that Bernard Hopkins, like being wrong. I'm starting to feel like Bernard Hopkins just really like to hear Bernard Hopkins talk, because I'm finding it hard to believe that Bernard Hopkins really believes half the things that comes out of Bernard Hopkins' mouth. You know what I mean? When he's saying this kind of shit. In what world is Devin Haney the B side to Ryan Garcia, who's never had a real championship belt in his life? Devin Haney has had the three new belts longer than Ryan Garcia has been a real champion. You know what I mean? It's like too often these days. It's like too often these days. A lot of these older boxers, they get lost, and you know making sure that they get lost. They lose touch with the realness of boxing. They lose touch with the reality of boxing. They lose touch with all the things that they had to go through and deal with while they were actually boxing. A lot of them lose touch with it after they get away from boxing and they get on the other side of boxing. A lot of them completely forget the struggle. A lot of them completely forget the struggle, that they had to go through, or that current boxers are going through, with these promotional companies and these sanctioning bodies and whatnot. How could B Hop, fix his lips, fix his mouth to tell us that Devin Haney will have to be the A side to Ryan Garcia? Since when does, actually accomplishing something? Since when does, going out there fighting the best people available to you mean something? You know what I mean? A side, and then A side in boxing is what? Who puts, the asses in the seats? Who's the bigger commodity? Who's the bigger, who's the bigger name? Ain't no way, ain't no way, in no way, shape, or form is, Ryan Garcia or more accomplished. In no way, shape, or form is Ryan Garcia, a bigger household name than Devin Haney. If anything, the two are equal in name. If anything, Ryan Garcia, to my knowledge, unless I'm mistaken, Ryan Garcia not out here, packing out houses. Ryan Garcia not out here, you know, on back to back pay per views. You know what I mean? Ryan Garcia is not a game changing name. You know what I mean? In boxing, he's not one of those, guys who people attach that uh automatic and that big payday to. I think Ryan Garcia mostly, I think most of his star power, most of his marketability, I think most of that is fluff. You know what I mean? Yes, Ryan Garcia is popular on social media. You know what I mean? He got a lot of social media fans and whatnot, but not all the time does, you having a big social media fan base translate to them, buying your fights or pushing you, you know what I mean, in the media. You know what I mean? Ryan Garcia, has a lot of fans, but most of Ryan Garcia's fans, you know what I mean, not even really into boxing. They're not buying his fights, which is why Ryan Garcia probably has, which is why Ryan Garcia has never really had a pay-per-view. You know what I mean? I feel like that's why he want this Tank Davis fight, so bad right now, because it's time for them to cash out on Ryan Garcia, who hasn't really been giving you the turnout like you would expect from a Ryan Garcia. What's good, Yoda Wise? Appreciate you sliding through this, John. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy as you roll on in. Whether you're here for a good time or a long time, if you could, smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. What's good, Yoda? TWT in the building. Appreciate you sliding through this, John. Yoda, I'm just in this thing having a boxing conversation. You know what I mean? With myself. I'm talking about these latest comments that I just seen from B Hop. You know what I mean? I'm not surprised anymore. DP Rocker, what's good, DP? Appreciate you sliding through this, John DP. Glad y'all could make it. Could y'all do your boy a favor when y'all roll on in? Could y'all smash that like button for your young brother? Greatly appreciate it. I'm in here talking about these latest comments, from Bernard Hopkins. So this is just the first thing that I want to talk about tonight. But I'm in here talking about these latest comments from Bernard Hopkins. Bernard Hopkins said that Ryan Garcia is more popular than Devin Haney, and that if they were to face off, that Ryan Garcia would be the A side. Now I know they probably sound like blasphemy, you know what I mean? But when you consider who it's coming from, being that it's coming from Bernard Hopkins, and Bernard Hopkins, especially lately, this is kind of the normal for him, you know what I mean, to be talking like this, saying things like this, things that make absolutely, you know, things that make absolutely no sense. You know what I mean? We could throw this in the pot, right? We could throw this Bernard Hopkins statement. We could throw that motherfucker right in the pot with him saying that Earl Spence is basic. We could throw that right in the pot with him saying that Mikey Garcia is going to be Earl. We can throw that shit right in the pot. We can throw that shit right in the pot with all the other crazy ass and blasphemous drunk wino shit that Bernard Hopkins, you know what I mean, be talking. You know what I mean? But no, I'm noticing about a lot of these older boxers when it comes to certain fighters these days, like Deontay Wilder, Errol Spence, just for example, when it comes to fighters like that, it's like fighters have a hard time giving those fighters their just due. It's like the older fighters from the past, the veteran fighters, have a hard time giving those fighters their just due. And I'm really confused as to why fighters like Wilder or fighters like Errol Spence, instead of being embraced, by the fighters of the past, more so that it's like they judge different. It's like we judge them differently. Like we judge them with a different set of eyes. It's like we could step back and we can appreciate most of these boxers for what they are. But when it comes to certain boxers, Wilder and Earl Spence, it's like everybody want to critique and everybody want to nitpick and everybody want to pretend that these guys are not, what they are. And by pretend that they not what they are, I mean by elite. You know what I mean? I mean by great. I mean by a threat to a lot of these older fighters' legacy, which is why I feel like they move the way that they move pertaining to Deontay Wilder and Earl Spence. Because it's one thing to be great. It's another thing for them to be greater than you. You know what I mean? Y'all do your boy a favor, 10 people in the building. Can I get y'all to hit that like button? If y'all ain't smashed that like button yet, greatly appreciate it. If y'all ain't here and y'all ain't smashed that like button, whether you're here for a good time or a long time, could you do your boy a favor? Could you smash that like button upon rolling on in? Greatly appreciate it. Greatly appreciate it. The DP Rocker said, Bernard Tapkins let a white boy beat him. You know what I mean? To Bernard Hopkins credit, on that tip. To Bernard Hopkins credit on that tip. Bernard Hopkins, was past his prime. He was an older guy. You know what I mean? That situation for B Hop, that might have been a situation for B Hop. Just when he stayed just one fight too long, him being in the game. Just one fight too many. I think that was that particular case. With B Hop. Mostly, I'm not even. I don't even got nothing bad to say about Bernard Hopkins' career. As a boxer, because he did his damn thing with that, and he deserves all the praise in the world. You know what I mean, for his boxing career. But this shit that he be talking about, his boxing analyst career, you know what I mean, his managerial career, that part of his career, that part of his career is trash. Now that part of his career, I most definitely can critique. That part of his career, I most definitely, will critique. It's like a lot of these guys, Roy Jones Jr. and Bernard Hopkins, just to name a few. When it comes to Wilder and Earl, it's one thing, right? People want you to do good, but people don't necessarily want you to do better than them. Southern T, what you mean people want you to do good, but they don't necessarily want you to do better than them? Well, when it come, to Earl and Wilder, I feel like that they get a lot of backlash and they get a lot of critique is because they know that the public and that the people they love and they view them, as their own entity. They view them as, power players in the game today. Certain boxers, Terrence Crawford, and even a guy, what I'm saying, like Tyson Fury and AJ, it's only but so far, they can go. You know what I mean? And it's not my doing. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. You know, it's like certain fighters, or are just chose. Fans just gravitate to certain fighters. Deontay Wilder and Earl Spence, are those fighters, are a couple of those fighters. Tank Davis being one as well that the fans just happen to gravitate to. You know what I mean? They're not overly over the top guys. They not guys, who out in front of the camera who always showing off their jewelry or nothing like that. It's just like a natural kind of thing. That's what makes you, special. That's what makes you a star, when you don't have to do too much and you still get that recognition, and that love and that attention that some people have to go out of their way for. And I think that Roy Jones and a guy like Bernard Hopkins, they could see that, with Deontay and with Earl Spence, and it bothers them that they think that us as the fans are going to forget about them because we like a guy like Earl or Deontay Wilder. What's good, BC? Appreciate you sliding through this joint. Brian Corbett, shout out my guy. Brian Corbett sliding through this joint. TWT in the building. Appreciate you sliding through this jump, Brian. Glad you could make it. My guy Yoda Wise said he been wrong a whole lot later. You mean Bernard Hopkins? Hell yeah. You mean Bernard Hopkins? Yeah, Bernard Hopkins has been wrong. You know what I mean? A lot later. And it's really getting to the point like when it comes to Earl, a lot of these people just keep picking Earl to lose. They go pick Earl to lose up until he actually lose, so they can say, I told you, I picked Earl Spence to lose and he was gonna lose. A lot of these people just pick Earl to lose every single time. You know what I mean? A lot of these people just out here picking Earl Spence to lose every time, like no boxing analysis or nothing. They just out here free hating. And that's what it is with Bernard Hopkins and guys like Roy Jones, I believe. That's what it is with those two. And I know it's hate because Bernard Hopkins continues to say this blasphemous shit. He literally just said that Devin Haney will be the B-side to Ryan Garcia. Like Devin Haney ain't the one with all the fucking straps. You know what I mean? Zoom said, bro, they love to speak blasphemous about him. It's nonsense, right? It's like it's almost a cool thing to do in the crowd these days is to go, jump and talk stupid about Earl Spence. You know what I mean? As if he ain't the most, one of the most proven fighters to date. Right now, if you look around the climate, of boxing, Earl Spence is one of the most proven fighters to this date. If there's not many fighters, you know what I mean? There's not a whole lot of fighters, and especially these days, there's not a whole lot of fighters who's continually challenging the best fighter, who's continuing to give the people the fights that they want to see, who continues to put a good product out after good product, after good product, after good product. And the boxers that do that, we can see it. We see it tenfold. You know what I mean? Type deal. And those are the boxers that get most of the hate these days. Earl Spence, Deontay Wilder, Tank Davis, Devin Haney. You know what I mean? The guys who dare to be great, the guys who try to surpass the old legends and not just be one of them, the guys who want to be, the best, guys who strive to be the best and not guys who just strive to fit in are usually the guys who get the most criticism. You know what I mean? In the sport today. Zoom said, bro, Skinny Beehive said people dumb if they was picking Bivol to win. Said we shouldn't speak boxing ever again. You know what I mean? And then what happens, Zoom? Bivol wins. What do you know? B-Hop was wrong again. B-Hop tell us we dumb, for picking Bivol to beat Canelo. We don't know boxing. We should never watch boxing again. And then, guess what? Bivol wins. Well, what do you know? B-Hop was wrong again. You know what I mean? Right, Zoom. My guy Zoom said, yep. So B-Hop probably should never talk boxing again. Right. Because you were saying if we pick Bivol to win, we probably should never talk boxing again. So what happened when Canelo lose? Does that mean you should never talk boxing again? You know what I mean, B-Hop? A lot of these boxers have literally forgot more boxing than they will ever know. A lot of these boxers, that's why when people be like, we should let boxers be the judges of these fights. Let boxers make these rules. Let boxers do this. I feel like some of those guys are bitter. Some of those guys are mad that a lot of these guys are making more money than them. Some of these guys are mad that a lot of these guys are getting more love or more media attention than they ever got in their day. I think putting a lot of these boxers in the ring to be judges and whatnot, I think that'll cause for more upsets. You'll see boxers just out here picking people to try to get them losses, you know what I mean? So they won't beat their old records and shit. You know what I mean? Shout out my guy Jeff Spark. He says Southern T Boxing was good. Shout out my guy Jeff. Appreciate you sliding through this, John Jeff. Can y'all do your boy a favor as y'all roll on in? Can y'all smash that like button for your boy? Whether you're here for a good time or a long time, if you could, as you roll on in, smash that like button for your boy. Greatly appreciate it. Greatly appreciate it. We in this thing, just shooting the shit, having us a good boxing conversation. I got 14 people in the building. I got 14 likes. Can I get the people that's in the building right now that haven't hit the like button for your boy? Smash that like button for your boy. Greatly appreciate it. We in here right now, talking about the comments that B-Hop made towards Devin Haney. He said that Ryan Garcia would be the B-side, you know what I mean, to Devin Haney. And we all know goddamn well that that's just, bullshit. He just blowing smoke. That has a lot to do with, Ryan Garcia, being one of his clients, him actually being, a promoter for Ryan Garcia, him being the CEO of Golden Boy. You know what I mean? You goddamn right he better say that you goddamn right he better say that Ryan Garcia is the A side. You know what I mean? To Devin Haney. He better say that. But you can say it. Don't mean that it's true. But you can always say it. Don't mean that it's true. But you can always say it. You know what I mean? Facts are the facts. The proof is in the pudding. One guy is the undisputed champion of the world. The other guy has never been a champion in the world in his life. You know what I mean? Yep, he got a secondary belt, but I find it funny how all of a sudden, all that email champion and that email belt, you know what I mean? All the email championship and that email belt, all that shit went away after Devin Haney, won them straps. Nobody is even talking about the belts at 135 pounds anymore. When T.O. had them belts and when George Kambosos had them belts was like the key to the universe. Everybody was saying, oh, well, he undisputed. They undisputed. He's the best fighter in the world. He's the best fighter at 135. He's the top guy. Devin Haney got them belts. People smooth, act like 135 don't even exist no more. Y'all do your boy a favor as y'all roll on in. Y'all smash that like button for your boy. Whether you gonna be here for a good time or a long time, do your boy a favor. Let YouTube know that you're over here. Let YouTube know that we going on live over here. Let YouTube know that, we doing a good job over here. You know what I mean? But I see how when Devin Haney, got a hold to them belts at 135, everybody just want to act like, they don't exist anymore. What happened to all that praise and shit that they was getting? You saw how when Teofimo Lopez, had them belts, it's like that's all they was talking about. It's like you saw that undisputed list every chance you got when Teofimo Lopez had them belts, when George Kambosos had them belts and everything. You know what I mean? You saw that shit every chance you got. Now you never see that undisputed list again. They were showing the undisputed list every chance you got, and then they was putting in a star beside it, an asterisk beside that Teofimo Lopez had the franchise belt. That's how bad they wanted to pretend that man was undisputed champion. They put an asterisk back and say, goddamn, franchise belt. Now, Devin Haney can't even make the top 10 pound for pound with them same belts that they was trying to crown Tio and George Kambosos with. You know what I mean? I remember a time, right? I remember a time where people was telling me that if George Kambosos beats Devin Haney, that means George Kambosos is a pound for pound fighter. So how is it not that Devin Haney isn't a pound for pound fighter when he had his WBC belt longer than any of those guys had those 3 belts, and now he got the 3 belts, and now all of a sudden the belts don't fucking matter. He can't even get no respect off them fucking belts no more. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? I see the play. I see the game. You know what I mean? It was always about. It was never about. The belt, the email champion, and all that shit. It's always been about devaluing Devin Haney. You know what I mean? They tried to change his real belt to the Pride belt. You know what I mean? And they would have got away with a lot of that shit, if it weren't for Devin Haney standing up for himself, and it weren't for people like myself and, Blue Blood and BF and all that, not letting the world, forget the truth, not letting the world really know that Lomachenko ducked Devin Haney. That's how their whole franchise belt was even created, because Lomachenko didn't want to fight his mandatory. Mandatory has been around since the beginning of boxing. Franchise championship belt just got around 2-3 years ago. Lomachenko ran from a mandatory, and the franchise belt was, invented on his side. You know what I mean? It really came from Canelo Alvarez running from a mandatory. You know what I mean? Lomachenko just took advantage with what was in front of him. You know what I mean? Now they email. You don't hear that email champion. You don't hear that email champion shit. No more. You don't even hear them talk about undisputed no more. Like I was saying, they be acting like them belts don't exist, because the plan the whole time was to demean Devin Haney. You know what I mean? It was to downgrade him. It was to make people believe that, he's not a real champion. He's a paper champion. He's a manufactured champion. He was given this belt. You don't hear Teofimo running his goof ass around talking about they gave Devin this, they gave Devin that. Because now Devin didn't beat the guy that beat you up. You know how bad that look on Tio for Devin to go in there and completely wash the guy that knocked Tio down, that upset him, made him look silly, and took his fucking belts. Do you know how dumb Tio look right now? And then what's up with these guys? Taking one loss and then wanting to leave their divisions and shit. You know what I mean? I'm noticing that as well, a lot with the boxers these days, and these times in this generation. My guy Zoomverse said Lomachenko did just like Cinnamon did and requested the franchise title. Facts. I'm noticing a lot of these young guys these days, they don't know how to really take losses either. You know what I mean? And maybe that's the Floyd effect. And I say the Floyd effect, and then I say I blame Floyd. Not directly, but indirectly, I blame Floyd, because it's the Floyd effect. You know what I mean? Floyd kept that, he made that thing cool. Now everybody think that that's how boxing is supposed to go. That's the only way that mean you good, is if you go undefeated. You ain't supposed to lose, because a lot of us grew up watching Floyd Mayweather and whatnot. You know what I mean? So indirectly, Floyd did kind of ruin that, being so good, being the anomaly, being so one of a kind. people think that you could duplicate that. You know what I mean? And by trying to duplicate it, what they end up doing is not fighting nobody at all, not fighting any good competition. You know what I mean? What they end up doing is saturating the sport, you know what I mean, and ducking good comp because they missed the whole part where Floyd Mayweather was coming up through the rankings, beating up everybody and taking everybody's name, taking everybody's belt, and kicking everybody's ass. It's because they missed that part because they was too young to be watching boxing at that time. You know what I mean? They see the pretty boy Floyd, they see the chains and everything, and they think that's it. They don't see all that hard work that Floyd put in before he even got to all that. You know what I mean? They missed that part. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in, whether you're here for a good time or a long time. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. You know, we in this good thing. You know, talking some boxing, shooting the shit. You know what I mean? Just getting some shit that's on my mind. You know what I mean? Off my mind. I got 13 people in the building. Can I get 3 of y'all to hit that like button for your boy and get your boy at 20 likes? I'm at 17 likes. Can I get 3 of y'all to smash that like button and get your boy to 20 likes if you're in the building and you ain't smashed the like button? Because it happens sometimes. Sometimes you come in, you know, so fast, you get to come in, you forget about it. But if you ain't smashed the like button, can you go out, smash the like button, come back in, get right back in the conversation? We ain't going nowhere. But I digress. You know what I mean? A lot of boxers these days, they see Money Mayfloyd, they see the chains, and they see what he did and whatnot, and they think that that's all it was. They forget, they didn't see the grind that Floyd did, you know, being pretty boy. A lot of the young boxers these days don't want to put their work in. You know what I mean? These days, it's more so about not losing the fight rather than fighting the best and becoming the champion. It's about not losing the fight and money fights more so than it's about, you know what I mean, becoming a champion and beating the best fighters there are out today. You know what I mean? It's like this great sport of boxing that we love, which is a brutal sport, right? A comeback sport. It's like the people in the sport, and I blame the powers that be. I blame the powers that be a lot, but it's like the people in this sport these days, they just wanna. It's like they don't have a love for the game anymore. It's like it's just a hobby for them. You know, like it's something that they do, you know what I mean, to pass the time, or it may be something that they just do, you know what I mean, to make money, or it may be something that they just do, you know, to look cool or to get the girl, or because, you know, that's what the people was doing around, you know, in the neighborhood at the time. So shit, they want to do it too. But it's like nobody, nobody wants to put the work in. Nobody wants to do the hard part. More so the sport. You know what I noticed too, just looking at the sport, you know, for myself, it's more so filled with athletes now than it is with actual boxers. You know what I mean? I'm gonna say that again because I want y'all to kind of understand what I'm saying. It's more so filled with just athletes now than more so guys who really love the sport. You know what I mean? It's filled with guys who can box more so than guys who are boxers. You know what I mean? Like like it's like the fighters these days, it's not about blood, sweat, and tears. It's about business. It's more so about the business. You always hear everybody talk about the business of boxing, the business of boxing. I remember, bro, I remember coming up watching boxing. I never ever heard a fighter say, I can't remember the time that I actually heard a fighter come out his mouth and say, well, yeah, I need that dude to get a couple more fights for him and build his name. You know what I mean? Before he fight me, yeah, I need him to, I need him to fight somebody else and build his name first. You know what I mean? Now, too often we hear a lot of fighters telling other fighters, you know, you got to get your name up. You got to, you ain't making M's yet. You know what I mean? We hear too many fighters telling the other fighters, you ain't big enough. You ain't good enough to fight me. Since when did we start just telling fighters, telling people that they not good enough and not showing them? How about when a fighter call you out instead of just telling them, "Oh no, you not on my level." Since they not on your level, how about we go ahead, we sweep the floor, we wipe the rug with them, and we get their ass, you know what I mean, out the way. And it's that, it's that simple. It's like these fighters these days, they don't want to fight each other. They almost don't want to fight. It's like they don't even love the sport. Like I'm saying, it's like they doing it for a paycheck. They doing it to look cool. They doing it to get the girls. I don't look at. There's not many fighters out here today. There are a couple. I ain't gonna throw all of them in the pot. You know what I mean? But there are a couple. There are a few. You know what I mean? But I don't look at these fighters today and see the same passion that Tommy Hearns had for boxing. I don't look at these fighters today and see the same passion that a Sugar Ray Leonard, you know what I mean, had for the sport. B&B Boxing, what's good? TWT in the building. Shout out my guy B&B Boxing, what's good, fam? Appreciate you sliding through. TWT in the building. Appreciate you sliding through this just B&B. Shit. I'm having a motherfucker now. Shout out my guy B&B Boxing coming through this joint. I'm in here, just shooting the shit, talking this good boxing. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Let's talk some boxing, man. I'm feeling good. Let's talk some boxing. Late night loafing. You know what I mean? I'm in here, just shooting the shit. Right now I'm talking about how like I'm really frustrated. And I find myself talking more and more and more about these guys not fighting each other because I feel myself getting frustrated. And maybe it's because we actually at a time in the year of boxing, which happens every year. This is always a rough little patch in the year, they June, July stage in boxing, because that's like the filler months. That's where, like the big fights, then wind down for the beginning of the year. And now they got to set up the fights, for the back end of the year. So, June and July, mid June and July, it'd be kind of a slow month for boxing while they making while they making the big fights for August, September, and all them shits. So maybe it's that part of, maybe it's that, they got me angry too as well. On top of, me realizing, checking the landscape and realizing that, man, look, it's so many good fighters out here right now. So many good young fighters. So many fighters in their prime too. So many good fights that we could see out here. And when you really think about it, none of them have fought each other. Y'all, that's really outside of 135. And I give 135, credit for that because, actually, no, 135 too. I'm putting them on the 5 because the young guys ain't fought each other there either. None of the young guys in this generation, I look around, it's a lot of them, but none of them are making fights with each other. How are all these good fighters advancing? How are these fighters, advancing, moving up in the rank and all that shit, but they're not even fighting the other good fighters in and around them, which will beat them. Like, just for example, at 35, Devin Haney ain't fought Tank. Tank ain't fought Devin Haney. Ryan Garcia ain't fought T.O. T.O. ain't fought Tank. T.O. ain't fought Haney. Ryan Garcia ain't fought Haney. None of the young Frank Martin ain't fought Ryan. Frank Martin ain't fought Tank. Frank Martin ain't fought T.O. Like, none of the young guys at 130, none of the prospects, Valenzuela, ain't fought none of these guys. None of the guys we like. Cruz and Tank fought, Cruz and Tank, ain't fought, none of the other, prospects that we think, go be good. That's just 135, right? Let's move to 147. Conor Benn ain't fought Virgil Ortiz. Virgil Ortiz ain't fought Boots. Boots ain't fought David Evanesian. David Evanesian ain't fought Conor Benn. Boots ain't fought Conor Benn. Conor Benn ain't fought Virgil. Virgil ain't fought Boots. However you want to switch it, however you want to put it, right? They ain't fought each other. Let's go to 154. Fundora and Tim Tszyu. You got both of them tag teaming, being Power Ranger girls and shit. Want to say, I want Jamel first. I want Jamel first. I can beat Jamel. I can beat Jamel. Y'all ain't fought each other. The prospects at 154 ain't fought each other. The prospects are the people at 154 who ain't fought each other. All the older heads and the veterans that already fought each other. You know what I mean? And now the prospects just following in behind them. You know what I mean? About to get the title shots when them guys should be fighting each other. You know what I mean? Type deal. None of these young guys are fighting each other. Where else we could go? We could go to 130. O'Shaquie Foster, Shakur Stevenson. We just got Valdez, you know what I mean, versus Shakur Stevenson type deal. It's just like we gotta it's like we ain't got no fights, right? But we have no reason to not be having fights. What's good, Julius Street? Appreciate you sliding through this junk. Glad you can make it, Julius. Shout out my guy, Julius Street, sliding through this junk. We in this thing just shooting the shit, man. You know, having some good boxing talk. I'm expressing my frustration, you know what I mean, with the fighters of this generation. The younger guys, in particular, the prospect contenders, not really mixing it up with each other. It's like all the young guys in every division. I was just going down the division. It's like all the guys in every division. All they want to do is call up at the champions. You know what I mean? Who got other stuff going on? Like the champions are trying to fight the other champions to get it undisputed. And you got all the prospects and contenders calling up to the champions saying, okay, fight me, fight me, fight me. But they all right next to each other calling up. How about y'all start knocking each other off? You know what I mean? And make it harder for the champion to be able to pick around you. You know what I mean? It's like everybody more so want to go. Everybody more so want to skip the hard part. Don't nobody want to knock the contenders off. Everybody want to go straight. You know what I mean? To the champion. Like I don't want to fight none of the contenders. I don't want to fight none of the prospects. I want to go straight to the champion and fight the champion. Well, they're skipping the hard part. You know what I mean? They're skipping the fun part. You know what I mean? They're skipping, you know, the hard work. And that's the problem with a lot of people, with a lot of these boxers today. And I blame it a lot on the promotional companies, power that be for the way that they moving them. But I'm blaming the boxers too, because a lot of these boxers, you know, for them, it's about protecting their O, and you know, it's about making the big paydays instead of earning your big paydays, not making the big payday. This to what I'm saying, earning, you know what I mean, your big payday, fighting the best fighters, becoming the champion. They used to be the agenda. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be the best boxer there is. I'm gonna become a champion, and I'm gonna fight the best fighters. Nowadays, it's like I'm gonna make a whole lot of money. I'm gonna retire undefeated. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna buy a lot of jewelry. No, I'm just bullshitting about the jewelry part. But you know what I mean? The other shit for real though. It's like I'm gonna make a lot of money and I'm gonna retire undefeated. It's like literally I could see a lot of fighters and a lot of promoters actually saying it, setting out to do that, because that's the only thing they could explain why we get such watered down product. That's the only thing they could explain why we don't get. When was the last time, y'all? Let's really think about it for a second. When was the last time we truly had two top tier, you know what I mean, prospects? Or when was the last time we really had two top tier contenders face off against each other, you know what I mean, in boxing? When was the last prospect versus prospect battle we had, you know what I mean? When was the last, you know, contender versus contender battle we had? Now we didn't have champions fight champions, you know what I mean? Brooke, Brooke, Porter, you know what I mean, Thurman, and shit like that. But like when last time we seen two on the same level? When the last time we seen a guy like a Virgil and a Boots fight each other? You know what I mean? Right now, what people will tell you, and it's too common and it's too accepted, people will literally tell you right now, well, now I don't want Virgil to fight Boots because Boots won't beat him right now, and Boots about to get a belt. You know what I mean? So I want Boots to get a belt. They'll straight up tell you, nah, I don't want my fighter to fight him because I think he gonna lose, and I'd rather get an easier belt. You know what I mean? They'll tell you that multiple times, and people cool with that. It's like it's too cool nowadays. It's too okay nowadays for fighters, for prospects not to fight other prospects. And I want to know, when did that become okay? When did it become the move to just for the prospects to sit in the whole time and say, yeah, I want to fight the champion, I want to fight the champion, I want to fight the champion, but you don't fight none of the other up and coming prospects along the way, but yet somehow they ranking it still comes to climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing. Yet the people we know who are the best people in the division, we know you not fighting them, but yet somehow you still climbing. Y'all still climbing. You know what I mean? He said guys want to be Money May and not Pretty Boy. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Directly, indirectly, Floyd kind of messed it up a little bit, but Floyd didn't mess it up because people missed that Pretty Boy thing. They missed the part where Floyd put all their work in. They missed the part where Floyd put all that work in. All they see is the money, the cars, and the jury, and all this shit. You know what I mean? They ain't see Floyd Mayweather going to people backyards and shit. They ain't see Floyd Mayweather, knocking them people out and shit. They ain't see Floyd Mayweather in the gym every day, all day, and all that shit. They ain't see Floyd Mayweather doing all those things. All they saw was Floyd Mayweather flashing that money. You know what I mean? That's all they saw. All they saw was Floyd Mayweather flashing that money. You know what I mean? That's the only thing that they saw, and that's what people think is about. People think, like I was saying, people place retiring undefeated. They place retiring undefeated over, becoming a real champion. People, a lot of these guys are cool with secondary belts and being undefeated, rather than actually being a real champion. They replace, being undefeated with becoming a real champion. They replace, getting a lot of money with having a boxing legacy. You know what I mean? It's more so about them having a legacy. I mean, it's more so about them having a lot of money and being undefeated, rather so than them being the champion and leaving their imprint on boxing forever. You know what I mean? And I'm seeing it too often. I'm hearing and I'm seeing too often where people are telling me, "Oh well, that fighter can't fight my fighter because he ain't done enough," and then they go on and they fight a guy 10 times worse than the fighter they just said that ain't done enough. You know what I mean, to fight their fighter. So you mean to tell me this guy ain't done enough, but you can go fight a guy who's significantly worse than the guy you just told him that he got to do some, he got to do some more work. You know what I mean? It's too many. It's too many good fighters out here. You know what I mean? It's too many good fighters out here for all the people to be, yelling up. It's too many good fighters out here for everybody to be chasing and everybody to be calling out the exact same fighters. At some point, y'all got to start knocking off the fat meat. Y'all got to start knocking off, the other fighters along the way. Like Joe George say he want a title shot. Frank Sanchez said he want a title shot. Joseph Parker said he want a title shot. Andy Ruiz, said he want a title shot. He fighting King Kong Ortiz, you know what I mean? So Andy Ruiz and King Kong Ortiz doing what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? Knocking out, trimming the fat, knocking out the fat. But them other guys, they said they want title shots. Y'all supposed to be fighting each other. You know what I mean? To make the line shorter for when them title shots come around. You know what I mean? You get to knocking out people now. You boost your name. You boost your name up higher. You know what I mean? On the list when they come around. You know what I mean? Type deal. That's the thing. Because if everybody just sitting down there calling up at the champions, that means one by one. That means one by one, he go, y'all go get picked to get y'all a title shot. Fuck is that? That mean one by one, y'all go get picked to get y'all title shot. But you could turn that one by one into you getting picked first, you and only you getting picked, quickly if you start knocking off the fat on people. You know what I mean? You start knocking off the fat, it ain't gonna be too many more people left to pick from. You know what I mean? Type deal. Uh my guy Julius Street said Joyce and Sanchez. Let's stay with Joyce and Sanchez, right? If if Frank Sanchez fight Joe Joyce, you know what I mean? One of them get knocked off the list. If Joe Parker fight, if Joe Parker fight, um, if Joe Parker fight, who up there? Okay, Andrew Reese and King Kong Ortiz fighting. If Joseph Parker fight Frank Sanchez, you know what I mean? You have. I'm trying to think of a heavyweight to match up. Uh, who is ranked up there? I don't really know, man. But y'all get what the hell I'm saying. Y'all get what the hell I'm saying, man. They got to start trimming. They got to start trimming and knocking off the fat. You know what I mean? Making some of these fights happen instead of everybody just sitting calling for the same people. You know what I mean? The beauty about the 147 pound division, the beauty about the 147-pound division, and and now I'm talking about the older guys, the Earl Spencers, the Keith Thurmans, the Sean Porters, the Kell Brooks, the Jordanis Ugas. You know what I mean? That era of 147, those guys, Danny Garcia coming in, uh, type deal. Uh, Manny Pacquiao, you know what I mean? That because Manny Pacquiao was Manny Pacquiao literally fought in 4 different generations. You know what I mean? Manny Pacquiao, those welterweights, actually, did mix it up with each other. You know what I mean? On the way up, those guys fought each other. As young champions and as prospects, those guys were moving on such a rapid pace that a lot of them was champions before they was 25 and 26 and shit. You know what I mean? Like that. Now Tank and Devin are champions. You know what I mean? 135 is the division. That's kind of the anomaly. And a lot of them, still ain't fought each other, but they have checked out their championship box. But the 147-pound division, as a whole, they ain't really checked off shit. You know what I mean? They really lagging. We giving them all this credit. You know what I mean? The new 147-pound division. You know what I mean? And Boots is leading the way. We giving them all this credit and shit. When really, if we compare them to their counterparts, the people before them, if we compare them to the 147 pounders before them, they haven't done shit on the grand scheme of things. Y'all do your boy a favor. I got 8 people in the building right now. I got 25 likes. Can I get 5 of y'all to smash that like button? You know what I mean? For your boy. Don't know if you're gonna be here for a good time or a long time, but if you could, smash that like button for your boy as you roll on in. 9 people in the building. Can I get 5 of y'all to smash that like button for your boy? But hey, yeah, if we compare, the young prospects now at 47 to their counterpart, the Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, Earl Spence, generation, these young guys ain't done shit, and they ain't done shit fast. You know what I mean? I'm gonna say it again. They ain't done shit, and they ain't done shit fast. Those guys was champions by the time that they were their age. Those guys had already fought each other at least once by the time that, you know what I mean, that was that their age. The young guys at 147 now, who mixed it up? Who mixed it up? Butiev and motherfucking Jamal James. And they had to be a consolidation fight. You know what I mean? None of these young guys have tested themselves against another young guy in their prime. You know what I mean? I remember that used to be the thing. That used to be the move. You know what I mean? Put yourself against this, young guy, so you rise to the crop and you prove that you next up. You know what I mean? Instead of sitting and waiting to be picked. You know what I mean? Now it's everybody's too content, with fighting the scrubs. And I'm not talking about the fighters, who working on certain shit, who working towards a goal, either who working towards fighting the best of the best. I'm talking about the fighters, who truly are moving a certain way. Ryan Garcia with no intent of ever fighting, you know what I mean, the best. I'm talking about those fighters, not the fighters who fine tuning their game in preparation to fight the best, but the fighters who know who fighting scrub after scrub, intentionally cherry pick after cherry pick, knowing damn well they never go fight. You know what I mean? The best. I got 12 people in the building. I got 26 likes. Can I get four of y'all to smash that like button for your boy and get your boy to 30 likes, whether you're here for a good time or a long time? We ain't here talking this good boxing. Can I get four of y'all to smash that like button, hit that thumbs up for your boy? I know sometimes we roll in, we forget to smash it. Do your boy a favor, go on out, smash that joint, come on back in. Greatly appreciate it. You know what I mean? We ain't here, just having we ain't here, just having a boxing conversation. And I okay, bet boom. Since we're here, I had did a video. I did a video on Bumgarner and Michaela Meyer. And Michaela Meyer had came out and said that Alicia Bumgarner needs to be humble. You know what I mean? And if kind of been paying attention to, Alyssa Bumgarner and Michaela Meyer, Michaela Meyer's whole situation. If you kind of been paying attention to it, then Alicia Bumgarner and Michaela Meyer, you know they got a real beef going on. They really don't like each other, at least from the words, that's being said. They be on social media calling each other names that I will not repeat. You know what I mean? But Michaela Meyer came out yesterday, you know, and she has said that Alyssa Bumgarner, needs to be humble and that she hadn't really done anything, in the sport for her to be acting, the way that she's acting. You know what I mean? And she said she also didn't like the way she didn't say this yesterday, but she said this earlier. Michaela Mike said she didn't like the way she handled her Terry Harper win. You know what I mean? But Michaela Meyer had been calling for this fight with Alyssa Bumgarner. When I say immediately after Alyssa Bumgarner won that belt from Terry Harper, Michaela Meyer was calling Alyssa Bumgarner's name. You know what I mean? For this fight, and I ain't gonna lie. In the beginning, you know what I mean, Alyssa Bumgarner, wasn't too quick, what I mean, to make it happen. Alyssa Bumgarner and her team, they attempted to go grab, another belt to add more, to this fight. I'm guessing, to try to get Alyssa Bumgarner, ASAP value type deal in this fight, with another belt type deal, but they was unsuccessful on making the fight with the WBA champion, with the current WBA champion. I think her name is Funjoku, if I'm not mistaken. They was unsuccessful in coming to terms with Funjoku. You know what I mean? So they ended up, making the Michaela Meyer fight. You know what I mean? Out of left field, Alyssa Bumgarner. There was a time where Michaela Meyer was saying that Alyssa Bumgarner was ducking uh Michaela Meyer, but Alyssa Bumgarner had came out and said in a tweet via social media on Twitter, directly to her. She said, "Ain't nobody ducking you. I'm trying to get this other belt." And these are Alyssa Bumgarner's words. She said, "If your fat ass don't want to wait, you could move up, or you can shut up and wait your turn." You know what I mean? And that, that kind of rubbed me the wrong way because I felt like, I mean, well, damn, if she want to fight, why not? Okay, I got you, BNB. I got you, BNB. I see you, BNB. Bet, bet. I got you, BNB. Shout out my guy, BNB Boxing. Appreciate you. That is BNB, right? Yep. Shout out my guy, BNB Boxing. But hell yeah. But Kayla Maya, was, trying to make this fight with Alyssa Bumgarner, like literally. As soon as Alyssa Bumgarner knocked out Terry Harper, Michaela Maya went live on her Instagram in the post fight. They asked Alyssa Bumgarner who she wanted to fight, next in the division. And Alyssa Bumgarner said, well, I fight anybody. I'm open to fight anybody. There's nobody in particular that I just, really want to fight. And then Michaela Maya took offense to that, you know what I mean? And this is where it started. Michaela Maya took offense to that. She said, she ain't say my name. She was like, say my name. You know who the champ is? Because Michaela Maya had just won her second belt, you know what I mean, against Han. If I'm not mistaken, though, was the woman name that Michaela Maya won that IBF belt off of was Han. You know what I mean? She had just won, her second belt. And Michaela Maya was like, say my name, say my name. So Michaela Maya was kind of offended that, Alyssa Bumgarner ain't recognize her, you know what I mean, as the best in the division or as a champion that she would like to face in her post fight interview. And it's like ever since then, these girls been at each other's throats. You know what I mean? I will say, uh, originally, Alyssa Bumgarner was a little hesitant to make this fight with Michaela Maya. You know what I mean? But I'm glad that it ended up, getting made. And also, I had did a Southern Tea on the Super 16. Now, the Super 16 is something that I made up over here on Southern Tea. It's the best 16 women in women's boxing. Again, the Super 16 is something that I made up over here on Southern T. It's the best 16 women who I feel in women's boxing. It's the best 16 who I feel in women's boxing. And also, it's 8 fights, 16 women, 8 fights that I think women's boxing needed, you know what I mean, to help grow and push the sport forward. And ironically enough, I've gotten about 3 out of 4 of those fights. I've gotten about 3 out of 4 of those fights, you know what I mean, to happen already. I've gotten about 3 or 4 of those fights, you know what I mean, to happen already in that Super 16. In that Super 16. You know what I mean? The fights, I can't remember all of them exactly, but of course, Clarissa Shields and Savannah Marshall was one of them. Michaela Maya versus Alyssa Bumgarner was one of them. Franchon Cruz against Cameroon was one of them. All 3 of those fights, either happened or about to happen. Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor was one of them. That fight also happened. So we've got about half of the fights, you know what I mean, to happen. I think another one was Esperanza versus Sinisa Estrada. Again, another one in there was Natasha Jones versus who was that? It was Natasha Jones versus, it was a rematch. It was Jones versus, somebody had beat Jones, but Jones is a champion now, and I wanted them to run it back. Uh, Jones versus McCaskill. Jones versus McCaskill. That was a fight, that I put in there. I put Shay Metcalf versus Jamie Mitchell in there. And I think I'm missing like one more fight, 1 or 2 more fights, but I did a super sweet, I did a super 16, you know what I'm saying, with the women fights that women boxing need, you know what I mean, to help grow the sport. And we've gotten about 4 out of those fights to happen in 2022 to happen, set to happen, or will happen. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So, like I was saying earlier to start this, 22, it's been a pretty good year. We don't got much to complain about. I think it's just this mid-year drop. You know what I mean? I think it's just this mid-year drop. You know what I mean? They got me, pissed. We don't got many fights. We don't got many fights, you know what I mean, coming up. We don't got many big fights, coming up. They June, July stick, get kind of rough. You know what I mean? For the big fights, that's where they playing to make they fights on the back end on this joint. So I'm getting a little, I'm getting a little antsy. So I'm getting a little, I'm getting a little antsy type deal. But when I sit and think, all in all, on the whole, it's been a pretty good, what I'm saying, year for boxing, for men's boxing and women's boxing. We've had what? I can't even start to count the unification fight. Hold on, I'm finna go get some water real quick. I'm finna get me some water, a bottle of water or something. Oh, all right. J Man, what's good, pimp? Shout out my guy J Man. Appreciate you sliding through this joint, J Man. Glad you can make it. My bad. TWT in the building. Shout out my guy J Man. Appreciate you sliding through this joint, J Man. I'm in this joint, you know what I mean, shooting the shit. You know what I mean, talking this good boxing. Just running through, you know what I mean, some of these boxing topics, you know what I mean, it's been on my mind. Before I walked out, I was talking about women's boxing, and then I was about to get into, how this year has been, a good year, a great year for boxing thus far. You know what I mean? And the only cherry on top we need is the Earl Spence versus Bud. But I was saying how we had, the two women's undisputed fight, Katie Taylor Serrano, Franchon Cruz and Cameroon type deal. We about to get Carissa Shields and Savannah Marshall. You know what I mean? Type deal. Jermell versus Castano also undisputed fight. You know what I mean? Canelo Alvarez, Caleb Plant, you know what I mean, was undisputed type deal. I think those to close out the second part of the year, but still all in all, you know what I mean. We've been getting boxing has been, correcting itself 2022. We even getting a lot of the hype jobs and a lot of the we getting a lot of the hype jobs and we getting a lot of the clout chasers to actually lose and shit too. You know what I mean? Rolly Romero, type deal, got starched. Goddamn, what's the boy name from Philly? Damn, what's the boy name from Philly? Damn, the wide nigga, Blur Cobb got stretched. You know what I mean? Not necessarily, not necessarily a hype job or whatnot, but Canelo Alvarez took an L. You know what I mean? That derailed that train a little bit. A lot of the Canelo Alvarez fans been, real friendly. You know, the Canelo Alvarez fans been real respectable and real sensible lately. You know what I mean? Their loss kind of put them, back in their place. You know what I mean? And I think, why I think that happened. I'm finna go and be paid. I'm gonna tell y'all why I think that happened. Y'all want to know why? Y'all want to know why I think Canelo Alvarez really lost? You want to know why I really think? You want you want to know why I really think Canelo Alvarez lost? Huh? You want to know why I think Canelo Alvarez lost? The real reason why he lost? Because of his fans. So, T, what you mean because of his fans? Yep, I think he lost because of his fans. What's good, Heavy Bad? Heavy Bad said Chris Colbert, T. What about Chris Colbert? Shout out my guy, Heavy Bad. Appreciate you sliding through this, young Heavy Bad. What about Chris Colbert? Y'all do boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. If you're in the building, you ain't smashing the like button. Go out for your boy. Smash the like button. Come on back in. You know what I mean? We ain't going nowhere. We cooking for a little while longer, for a little, a second longer. If you ain't smashed that like button, smash that like button for your boy. But Heavy Bad, what about Chris Colbert? What happened to Chris Colbert, Heavy Bad? Talk to me. What happened to Chris Colbert, Heavy Bad? Talk to me nice, man. Talk to me nice. You know what I mean? Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. But yeah, man, we didn't have a pretty good year so far. We didn't have a lot of motherfucking, we didn't have a lot of motherfucking unifications, a lot of fucking multitude of undisputeds. We just need that cherry on top, Earl Spence and Bud. And if we really go in the year right, if we really go get good, because both fighters can't do it. Ain't nothing holding it back. Ain't no obstacles in the way. Ain't nobody got a mandatory. Ain't nobody got a fight or no shit like that. We could get Cool Boy Stephen versus MJ Akhmaduliev as well. You know what I mean? Add that to the undisputed part as well. Heavy Bag said he was one of the fighters. Oh, that loss it needed to be humble. Fast. Chris Colbert. I forgot about Chris Colbert. Shout out my guy Heavy Bag, man. Let me drop the flames for my guy Heavy Bag. Fast. Chris Colbert lost 2 this year. See how boxing correcting itself? Not bad. Yes. Yes. This shit working itself on out this year, man. That's all I'm saying. Everything working itself on out this year. Now, if we really go get it right, we'll get Earl and Bud. We'll get fucking Cool Boy and MJ. You know what I mean? In a perfect world, shit, we'll get Shakur Stevenson versus, you know what I mean, Joe Cordina, but not Shakur, because Shakur got it. That ain't undisputed because there's 3 belts. Shakur got to fight Robson Cohen St. Guy anyway. But you know what I mean? But for sure, Earl and for sure, Cool Boy MJ, because ain't never one of them at them 4, ain't never one of them got nothing on the table. And that's fights that could really happen. Earl and Bud is being worked on, right? And I know right after that fight, MJ ain't really sound too enthused about fighting Cool Boy, especially with them two having the only belts in the division. You know, they asked him about Cool Boy. He said, "I'm gonna let my management team handle it or whatnot." Bro, you got 2 belts. He got 2 belts. It ain't nothing for your management team to handle. You need to be trying to get that motherfucking smoke, the undisputed smoke. And it's that simple. He need to be trying to get that undisputed smoke. You know what I mean? Let's go on end this year right. Let's go on make this shit right. Let's go on end this shit, with a bang. Now you know what's gonna have everybody pissed though? What's really gonna have everybody pissed though? If Earl and Bud don't happen. You know why? I'm gonna tell you why I'm gonna have everybody pissed. Because if it don't happen this year, it ain't gonna happen. And Earl Spence already told you if it don't happen this year, it ain't gonna happen. Cause he said he moving up to 154 if he can't get this Bud Crawford fight. He said he had 2 fights left, the WBA and then Bud Crawford, the WBA and the WBO, and then he moving up. He said if he can't get Bud Crawford, he moving up to 154. So that man already told you he not finna sit, he not finna wait on Bud Crawford. I think if this shit go outside of this year, now I don't think it's Bud Crawford fault either. I think I know it's some underlying shit, going on that gotta be worked out and whatnot. But depending on how long that shit take, is when we go get this fight. But what I'm saying is, whether it's Bud fault or not, Earl Spence ain't finna be waiting past this year. You know what I mean? That's why you see if you check some of them fan sites, the date went to the very last day of the year because that's the last day that we got to make this shit happen. If this shit don't happen this year, this shit ain't happening. Now the dates that they shooting for are October 29th, which is getting harder and harder by the day because we getting past that time where we got to drop a date so people can start getting their money together and everything for a date in a fight. You know what I mean? We didn't hit that. We didn't hit that July. You know what I mean? July, August, September, October. You know what I mean? We go get it in October. We would have had to need that fucking announcement yesterday. You know what I mean? We at least need the announcement by the end of this month, 29th of this month, if it's going to happen in October. You know what I mean? If he get out of July, that bitch, then it go back to November. You know what I mean? Type deal. But if that shit go happen, we got to get it. You know what I mean? We got to get it going now. Now, we got until the end of the year to make this fight happen. That's the good part. We got until the end of the year. And I truly think, if it rolled on over, you know what I mean, until early next year, Earl Spencer still do it. I think if it roll on over into early next year, Earl Spencer still do it. You know what I mean? But the window for this joint is the window for this fight is closing rapidly. Is rapidly closing. You know what I mean? Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all roll on there. Y'all smash that like button. I'm at 28 likes. I got 7 people in the building. Can I get 2 of y'all? Smash that thumbs up. Can I get 2 of y'all to smash that thumbs up? You know what I mean? For your boy. Whether you're here for a good time or a long time. If I could get y'all to smash that thumbs up for your boy. Greatly appreciate it. Greatly appreciate it. We in here, you know what I mean, just shooting the shit. Just shooting the shit, having a little boxing conversation. You know what I mean? And I know I normally don't go on. I know I normally don't go on. What the hell? My shit just shot down from 12 to 4. I don't know what the hell they got going on. I don't know. But anyway, I know I normally don't come on this late. You know what I mean? But I had to get some of this shit off my chest. And we hitting this slow point in boxing too, man. We hitting this slow point in boxing the year. We got motherfucker. I think what the fight this weekend is Dog Bay and Joey Gonzalez. I think that's the big fight this weekend. Dog Bay and Joey Gonzalez is the big fight this weekend. You know what I mean? So what that's telling me is that it's an MMA weekend. Literally. You know what I mean? This the week where we need people to just be getting outraged. This week we need people just to be saying the most dumb, the most outrageous shit. You know what I mean? To give us something to rap about. I'm gonna be on this motherfucker talking to y'all, about real life shit. You know what I mean? This week, fucking around with these people. It's gonna be another MMA week. That's what it's gonna be. That's what it feel like. You know what I mean? That's what it's feeling like. Dog Bay and Joey Gonzalez is the biggest fight this weekend. This is always the roughest time of the year. You know what I mean? That middle portion, they switch over from the early fights. They switch over from the big fights, the mid-year big fights. You know, in the year, uh, May, April. You know what I mean? June and July be so fucking dry. You know what I mean? June and July be so fucking dry. And then the big fights start to roll again, August, September, October, November, December, type deal. But this dead spell right now is killing me. Dog Bay and Gonzalez, and I fuck with Dog Bay. I fuck with Dog Bay. On the undercard, or I fuck with Dog Bay even being the main event, right? I fuck with Dog Bay being the main event if we got another fire-ass card on with him. You know what I mean? Not him being the only card on this weekend. If y'all haven't come, if y'all ain't subscribed to my boy Zoom, y'all make sure y'all click that link right there and subscribe to my boy Zoomverse. You know what I mean? My boy do good work. Make sure y'all subscribe to my boy Zoom TWT. You know what I mean? And y'all smash my like button if y'all ain't smash my like button. If y'all ain't smash my like button, make sure y'all smash my like button when y'all come in. Let YouTube know we over here. Let YouTube know that we doing a good job. Let YouTube know that we lie. Let YouTube know that you've been through. Let them know that you saw it. You know what I mean? Support is free, man. Every support ain't the cash app. Every support ain't. All support ain't the cash app. All support ain't a super chat, a like, a share. You know what I mean? That's all free. Those things, you can do anyway. Type deal. You know what I mean? Greatly appreciate y'all folks sliding through this junk though. We in this motherfucker, having us no problems on. No problems on. No problems on. And I appreciate y'all kicking it with me too. On the late night, fuck it, let's talk boxing. Whenever I feel like randomly, you know what I mean, coming to shoot this shit, coming to talk some boxing, man. Fuck it, let's talk some boxing. You know what I mean? Fuck it, let's talk some boxing. Y'all know what I want to talk about real quick? Since somebody brought him up earlier, about the clowns losing that needed to lose. Chris Colbert. Now, Chris Colbert then talked himself into some shit. You know what I mean? Chris Colbert, right? Volunteered smoke to Frank Martin. Frank Martin won his fight, and Chris Colbert said, I want to fight Frank Martin next. You know what I mean? Earl Spence got wind to it, and he told Chris Colbert, he said, you fucked up, don't it? Chris Colbert like, what you mean, bro? Earl said, you said you want to fight Frank Martin. And then Chris Colbert said, I do. He a good fighter. And then Earl Spence said, okay, I'm going to talk to your people. You know what I mean? LOL. He said it jokingly, but Earl Spence really is the promoter and manager of Frank Martin. So he really is the one who's going to have to talk to Chris Colbert people about making a fight for Frank Martin. And also the LOL came from that Chris Colbert and Earl Spence have the same people. You know what I mean? So that's going to be an easy, thing for them to do. You know what I mean? If both parties really want to make it happen. I don't see why Frank Martin and Earl Spence wouldn't want to make it happen. Earl Spence is the promoter. He already said that it's a go. And Frank Martin, you know what I mean, a promoter manager, right? And Frank Martin go listen to Earl Spence. Earl Spence feel like he could beat Chris Colbert. He go fight Chris Colbert. Earl Spence feel like he could beat Rolly Romero. He go fight Rolly Romero. You know what I mean? So Chris Colbert is talking directly to Frank Martin's handler, which just happened to be Earl Spence. You know what I mean? Type deal. So I think that's something we very well should be looking for. Like, you know what I mean? Chris Colbert just since he lost, he got real quiet. He got real quiet. But that nigga been talking like the last month or so. You know what I mean? He been capping off at the mouth. He challenged Albert Bell to a fight. Nothing came for it. He challenged Frank Martin to a fight. So now we finna see what the hell. Now we finna see what the hell come from that. My bad. But yeah, but yeah. All I'm saying is we gotta get uh Chris Colbert went away for a while, but he came back and he went right back, to running his mouth, running his cock tucking and everything. So we got to get him in the ring with Frank Martin, or we got to get him in the ring with who's the other guy that he called out? Albert Bell. You know what I mean? He called out Albert Bell and just completely got off it. He just called out Frank Martin to Earl Spence. That's a fight shit that I want to see. I know people saying, well, Chris Colbert at 130. You know what I mean? I was what I hit on just a little bit earlier, which I can go back to because I really did speak on it. I bumped over it. Fighters these days, it's like they don't know how to handle losses. Every time a fighter these days lose, they lose and then they move right up. You know what I mean? Even Mario Barrio lost, moved up. You know what I mean? Rolly Romero lost, talking about moving up to fight Earl Spence. Chris Kerber lost, talking about moving up to fight uh, Frank Martin. Ryan Garcia ain't even lose, you know what I mean? But he moving up all of a all of a sudden. Teofimo Lopez lost, move up. You know what I mean? Uh, Fighters back in the day didn't move up every time. Shit, they you know what I mean? They had a loss. A lot of them fights back in the day fought each other 3 and 4 times and shit like that. A lot of them fighters back in the day was trying to prove that they are the best fighter. You know what I mean? They was trying to prove that they were the best. You know what I mean? They fought until it was a definitive winner. They was gonna fight until one guy beat the hell out the other guy multiple times, and there was no doubt that there was a winner of that fight. You know what I mean? Sugar Ray Leonard knocked out Tommy Hearns. What, like in the fourth fucking round the first time they fought? You know what I mean? Tommy Hearns was like 22 years old. Tommy Hearns came back and ran that back. You know what I mean? Because that shit ain't sit right with Tommy Hearns. And he fought Sugar Ray to a goddamn draw that second time. And a lot of people feel like Tommy Hearns won that second fight, but because Sugar Ray was so light, they gave it to him. Even Sugar Ray, to now whether he believed it or not, or he was just, he was just, telling his boy, Tommy. He was trying to make, Tommy feel better about the situation. I mean, he told Tommy, man, you won that fight, Tommy, you won. So even Sugar Ray is on record saying that Tommy Hearns won that fight. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Rather he was just catering to Tommy Hearns at the time. You know what I mean? Whatsoever. But he is on record saying it. But a lot of people feel like that Tommy Hearns may have won that fight against Sugar Ray that second time. But my point is, those guys weren't just moving up divisions every time they took a L and shit like that. Every time somebody lose now, they want to move up in a division. But you know what, Frank Martin, since you want to cap out here, that's clap chasing. What Chris Colbert doing right now is clap chasing. Because Chris Colbert walking around fat as hell right now. When y'all finally see them pictures, when y'all finally see pictures of Chris Colbert, the reason y'all ain't seen pictures of Chris Colbert lately is because he heavy as hell. But when y'all finally see that picture that I saw, and the picture that I saw was somebody on social media who just happened to bump into Chris Colbert and took a picture. You know what I mean? So he couldn't turn down the picture because somebody recognized him. But that man was heavy as hell. You know what I mean? Visibly, he was heavy in the stomach and in the face. You know what I mean? That man was heavy, type deal. But I most definitely believe that he'll go up to 35 for his next fight. You know what I mean? Especially seeing him, walk around and carry that weight that he carrying right now. When y'all see him, y'all go trip. I wish I would have, saved that fucking picture. I would have bookmarked that picture when I saw it. You know what I mean? I wasn't thinking. I wish I would have bookmarked that fucking picture when I saw that shit. If I was thinking, I would have. Chris Colbert big as hell right now, though. I wouldn't even hold you. I wouldn't even switch y'all right now. Chris Colbert big as hell right now. But I do want to see him in there with Frank Martin. He called it out. He told Frank Martin handler that he want to fight him, which was Earl Spence and shit. Both of them, got the same people. They're on the same side. Man, that's the jump that I want to see. Let's go and put an end to Chris Colbert. Let's go and put an end to the little B-Hop story. Y'all remember the little B-Hop story? They used to come on Showtime and shit back. Well, what was that? What station was that? I forgot what station that was that she used to come on. But he used to come on there with the college football series too, with the Eastern Mississippi Community College team, halfway you type shit, type deal. They need to go on, make that shit happen, man. You know what I mean? Chris Colbert used to have that TV show. I forgot what fucking network used to come on, but it used to come on all the time. Goddamn, it might have been Showtime. Yeah. We finna go and put an end to the Chris Colbert story that Jenna used to come on Showtime. We finna go and put an end to that motherfucker. That's how they Jenna on Showtime go in. The little B-Hop story. It's going in with Frank Martin knocking his ass out and putting him out, because if he took that one loss to Garcia and he didn't get this fat, you know what I mean? I can only imagine what he'll do after two losses and getting knocked out. You know what I mean? That boy is fighting for everything because everybody saw him quit. Everybody saw Chris Colbert quit his last fight. And I'm telling you, this year has been correcting itself, man. This year has been correcting itself. We getting all these title fights and we getting all these undisputeds and we getting these high jobs to get their ass bust up. You know what I mean? We getting the people who think they bigger than D, bigger than I. You know what I mean? To take their L's. You know what I mean? Type deal. We getting, it's like boxing is fixing itself and it's correcting itself. The only thing we need left now is Earl and Bud. You know what I mean? And me being greedy, we need Cool Boy Steph versus Akhmaduliev. And really, that ain't even me being greedy, because Cool Boy Steph ain't got a fight right now. Akhmaduliev ain't got a fight right now. They both got 2 belts. You know what I mean? The shit just makes sense. We could do that fight for the end of the year. And then one of them got a fight coming. At some point at the end of the year, we could make undisputed at 126 because both Cool Boy and Akhmaduliev free of schedule. But of course, this is boxing. And doing what makes sense just never seems to ever make sense no more in boxing. It's like if it makes sense, you can almost guarantee that shit ain't gonna happen. You know what I mean? In boxing. And that shit crazy. It's like the shit that makes the most sense in boxing, that's always the least likely thing that's to fucking happen. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, Cool Boy don't gotta fight. MJ don't gotta fight. It makes sense that they can fight at the end of the year, right? Make it happen. Earl don't gotta fight. Bud don't gotta fight. It makes sense that they can fight at the end of the year, right? You know what I mean? Make it happen. Watch this. Canelo Alvarez said that Jermell Charlo deserved a fight against me. He deserved a title shot. He said that after Callum Smith. He said that the same day that Boo Boo Andrade walked in on Canelo Alvarez and he told him to get out and he wanted payday. The same day he told Boo Boo he wanted payday, the same day he said at, uh, that Jamal Charlo won't. That Jamal Charlo deserve a fight with him and that he a good fighter. He had a fight with him, right, and he still didn't get that minor fight. It would have made too much sense for Canelo, to actually, you know, stand on his word and give him what he deserved. And you clearly said that he deserved it. You know what I mean? And you could have gave it to him and you still chose not to give it to him. So that means that you knew he deserved it and you still didn't give it to him. You know what I mean? But I guess I'm a Canelo. They call me the Canelo hater when I bring, light to that. When I bring attention to that. Damn, I lost my bet. Damn, my son. Where'd you find this at? My bad, y'all. My bad. But yeah, everything fixed itself though. Everything fixed itself. So really, in hindsight, I shouldn't even be mad because you know what? This year didn't work itself out. This year didn't. This year didn't work itself out. You know what I mean? Thus far, everything that's supposed to happen pretty much didn't happen. You know what I mean? We didn't get championship fight after championship fight, type deal. Uh, I'm a whole stead to that. You know what I mean? I'm gonna keep my I'm gonna keep my hopes up about it since everything else been working itself out any goddamn way. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna stay optimistic about Earl and Bud when really this shit really is up in the air. Whether you believe, no matter what you believe, whether you believe Bud's scared, you know what I mean? Whether you believe that it's a money issue, whether you believe that it's a Daniel Callahan issue. You know what I mean? If you at this point, I feel like if you saying Earl Spence don't want this fight, then you pretty much just delusional because even Bud told you that Earl wants this fight, and we all know that Earl is the side that's offering, the contract that's offering the fight. You know what I mean? So for Bud to have a contract, that means that Earl Spence does want to fight. You know what I mean? So if you still hollering that, then you know what I mean. You just wow. You know what I mean? But for what we all know at this point, that is contingent upon Bud Crawford. You know what I mean? So I don't think that it's beyond reason, for people to start to speculate. You know what I mean? Because it's getting closer. You know what I mean? It's getting closer and closer. To that time. Type is getting closer and closer to the end of the year. You know what I mean? The window for this fight is only so big at this point, and with how turn the year has been so far, with how good the year has been so far. You know what I mean, man? We gotta get this joint to top it out. Like we gotta get this joint at the end of the year to top it out. It'll be like bittersweet. All the good shit that happened this year, all the undisputeds, all the unifications, all the hype job, clout chasers that lost and got knocked out, and all that good shit. If Earl and Bud don't fight, all that shit will be bittersweet. You know what I mean? If you ask me, I would trade in. No, I ain't gonna say that. That's tough. That's a lot of work to trade in for one fight. But I would really it's really a question for me. I really have to sit and think. I would probably trade in every fight that happened this year to get Earl and Bud to happen for sure. Matter of fact, I will trade in. They could have said, "All right, look, we can have a 4 year schedule, right? We can have all the fights that y'all asked for, all the undisputed, all the unifications and everything. Shakur fight Valdez and all that good shit. We can have all that, or we can get Erlen Bud. That'll be the only boxing match to come on this year. But you for sure get that fight. You'll get that fight June 15th in the middle of the year for sure. But that'll be the only boxing match to come on. I would take that June 15th Erlen Bud fight over all this shit because that fight is that big. Because it's for undisputed. You know what I mean? If I could only if I can only get one fight this year, that would be the fight for me. You know what I mean? That's basically what I just said. You know what I mean? It's basically what I feel about it. That would be the one fight for me. You know what I mean? But I'm finna get the fuck up out here. I ain't gonna hold y'all up in this joint too long. I've been on an hour 42 minutes. You know what I mean? I stretched it out to an hour 43 minutes. So we got what, roughly 2 minutes and 2.5 minutes left. You know what I mean? I stretched it out 2.5 minutes. But hey, I appreciate everybody that be coming through these nice sessions and shit, man. I know this ain't knowing in my time, so I appreciate y'all folks, coming through when y'all come through. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do more of these little short, live streams. My robbing the book is still gonna be long as hell. You know what I mean? Some days it wasn't no baseball today, so that's why I ain't really robbing the bookie. But I'm gonna do more of these little, shorter streams like this type deal. Hour and a half, 2 hours type deal. I be trying to shorten it up like that. I just felt like, talking a little boxing tonight. You know what I mean? I had to kill a little time. I think I put a dent in it, pretty well. You know what I mean? I put a dent in it pretty well type deal. Got some shit out my chest. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all in here. Y'all ain't smash that like button. Smash that like button. Smash that like button. Greatly appreciate it. Be tuned bright and early, for the new sudden teas. Type there, be tuned bright and early for it. Y'all know what's going on. Skin Hardaway sudden tea. This ain't the past. This ain't the future, but just the present. That's how we rocking. And I'm out. Love. I'm actually waiting for it to get to 145. So I got 20 seconds left. $144 is such an ugly number. Can't end it at 144. It's such an ugly number. Like, who wants to end something at 144? Like, who does that?